Okay, fantastic. Hi everyone, this is Ashish Kyal here. Welcome again to Ashish Kyal Trading Gurukul, and it's pleasure to have every one of you here. It's going to be a very quick announcement I wanted to make. We have been receiving a huge inquiry on why to focus on timing the market. तो काफी सारे जन पूछ रहे थे कि टाइम द मार्केट होता क्या है, टाइम साइकिल्स होता क्या है, what is master of cycles. I thought the best way to address that is to go live and take those interact with every one of you and talk about what is timing the market all about. So there is a program which I am conducting on 9th and 10th of October, which is on time cycle, which is going to talk about how to time the market to the very minute. So if you look and try and understand what is happening around, if you are a trader, don't you face a challenge that you have taken a position? For example, if you look at what happening with Nifty and Bank Nifty in just past 2 days of time, if you would have taken position in the morning on the short side and market reversed from there, don't you want to time the market to the very hour? Because every single hour the market trend changes. In fact, if you are a intraday trader, timing becomes all the more important. It's very crucial that you are able to time the market to the very minute. You are able to time the market to the very hour. That is very important. Now what is happening is majority of the people who are trying to trade the market, they have all the necessary tools to trade. Maybe they are following certain patterns, maybe like a head and shoulder pattern, or some other techniques that you are following. But many times, have you observed in the current market context also, these patterns are failing? Don't you see a failed pattern happening? What happened again? There was a sharp reversal on the downside, a bounce back happening on the upside, and you are all clueless what is happening with the market. But if you had certain टाइम पैरामीटर along with you, अगर आपको पता है कि कौन से डेट पे, कौन से टाइम पे मार्केट्स रिवर्स होगा, don't you think that will give you all the more the most needed edge to trade in the market? See, if अगर आपको पैसा बनाना है मार्केट्स में, if you want to make money in the markets, you need a trading edge, and that trading edge can be the element of time, which is very less talked about. I have worked with Lehman Brothers. I've seen what went wrong in 2008. You can see what happened in pandemic 2020. I am aware that these kind of techniques are used by fund houses, hedge funds, where you can forecast the market and you can take investment positions, you can take intraday positions. And if you are an option trader, you definitely have to time the market, whether you are an option buyer और एन ऑप्शन सेलर. अगर आपने मार्केट को टाइम ठीक से नहीं किया, then you can't really make money in at least trading the options. Forget about the cash and equity stock. So what is a cycle? What is time? See, everything works on a repeatable fashion. Everything repeats from time to time, again and again. In fact, I've showed in my research published just yesterday, where I talked about a lunar cycle. These lunar cycle helps us to identify whether a possible low can be formed. The cycle was due yesterday, and today we formed a low and bounced back on the upside. That's the power of knowing about time cycle. So lunar cycle I talked about. There is a solar cycle, which is a 12.5 year cycle. There is a presidential cycle, which is a 4 year cycle. So there are simply amazing cycles that is working and governing every single aspect of what you want to trade in the market and how you want to do it. So a classic example I'll share across is the forecast of Sensex, which I did in 2013. If you have seen that webinar of mine, I talked about Sensex target at 61,000 by the year 2020. This research was published in 2013 in my research, which was sent across to the client. And Sensex touched nearly 60,000 now in 2021. I'm off by a few months, but that simply helps you to understand. I forecasted the market 7 to 8 years down the line. Bank Nifty target in the same research report was also talked about how the Bank Nifty can touch 40,000 by the year 2020. So this is what I talked about and it went amazingly well. So what I am trying to say you is that the मास्टर ऑफ साइकिल्स प्रोग्राम जो हम कर रहे हैं 9th and 10th अक्टूबर को, इट्स अ वेरी सिंपल वे ऑफ looking at the program, looking at the markets in a different way. It's a simple technique. See, there are certain tools which are difficult to comprehend, but this program is a very simple way in which you can forecast the market to the very date, to the very day, and to the very hour. In fact, I follow cycles even on a 5 minute chart and forecast it to the very minute. That is possible because I use these various simple tools of how to time it. And many of you wonder what is a cycle. I am not talking about any other thing. Lekin periodically, simple layman language, if I explain you, every few days or few hours, the market changes the direction, and time cycle helps us to capture that lows which is formed. So essentially a cycle study or time cycles help us to identify when the next low is going to be. Can it help us to form a top also? Yes. But cycles work extremely well in capturing the lows. So if you can identify the periodicity, periodicity का मतलब है कि साइकिल 20 दिन में लो बनाएगा, will it make a low in 20 days, 25 days, or will it make a low in just 1.5 days? There is also a cycle that follows that simple low being formed every 1.5 to 2.5 days. That is also possible. So we are trying to extract from the price, we try to understand the timing aspect of it. If you understood the time, you know that whatever the price is, there is a possibility of a reversal happening. We saw clearly a false breakdown happening on the market, both Nifty, Bank Nifty, and stocks. And from the lows, the market reversed sharply on the upside by 200 points. Nifty rallied from there. Bank Nifty by nearly 600 points from the lows. If you knew that this is the time when the low is going to be formed and it going to reverse back, then you see the magic. In fact, time cycle can also be used in order to in order to forecast the price. किसी ने आपको बताया था कि आप टाइम को देख के प्राइस फोरकास्ट कर सकते हो. That is what I am going to do on 9th and 10th of October, because you can forecast and derive targets by looking at the time element of it. And I'm going to give you a simple tool which you can apply on any software. You don't have to purchase anything, you don't have to do anything, and you can apply that and you will be able to forecast the price by looking at those time concepts. Okay. Along with that, I'm not saying you leave away what you know already. या आपको already कुछ पता है. You combine that. So maybe if you use Fibonacci or wave theory, or if you use any other method, you can combine those targets that you are getting, and then you can combine it along with these targets that the time is giving you. And this is going to be, you will be simply thrilled and amazed to see that happening on the chart. So that, and that is possible. I'm going to be speaking also at IIMs and this week, where I'm going to talk about this important element. The reason I'm saying is, if you don't know me, I'm a CMT. I speak at IIMs. I've spoken at NSE National Stock Exchange. I've spoken at Samco Brokers. I'm speaking about this concept of time cycle, and trust me, no one you will come across in India or Asia who conducts a program which is called as Master of Cycles program. No one does that, because this is the subject which I've been researching for nearly a decade. And I want to give this to you because I know if I can time the market, I'm thrilled by it. अगर मैं कर सकता हूँ, so each one of you can simply do it in, and it's a very simple step-by-step process. So how do you register for this program? My colleague will share across the link. You simply have to do that. Also understand the early bird is ending on 25th of September. So the pricing for this program is 22,000 plus GST right now. And post that, it's going to be 49K plus GST. If you are not able to attend the session, do not worry. We are anyways going to share across a link of the recording with you. This is going to happen over the weekend and it's going to be amazing the way it works. I have seen it. If you trade, and we are going to talk about how to trade using time cycles, clear trade setups I'm going to define. If you are an option trader, how to go about it. If you are a positional trader, how to forecast and go about it. So हम examples लेंगे, practically करेंगे, charts के basis पे over the period of 9 and 10. And it's an online live session that we are going to have, and it's simply going to be thrilled. You will be thrilled. I did a live trading session with my mentees, and look at them. We captured the entire bank nifty move from 37,000 to 38,000 level, and that was simply super. So, and time was also one of a very, very important element. This is going to be very, very crucial that for you all. So the only way that you can be a part of this program is simply by registering. You, what you have to do is simply you have to go on the link and you have to click on that, and you can simply pay for this program, which is shared across by my colleague. If you are there on YouTube, ensure that you block your seat. We have limited seats and the early bird ran in just next 3 days of time. So why not capitalize on that? I'm open for any Q&As or the questions that you might have. And trust me, something like this, I forecasted ITC using cycle analysis. I've shared across the chart also, and it went so superb. The cycle low was forming when it was at 205 rupees, and we know it's now at 240, crossing that. Okay, and it's simply going to be amazing. Okay, Harshit is saying, is there any pre-requirement before joining the MOC program? Absolutely not, Harshit. You don't need a pre-requirement. That's the beauty of time cycle. क्योंकि ये जो subject है, this is independent of all the other studies that you do. So you don't really have to be looking at whether you know technical analysis or not, because we start looking directly on the time element of it, and we combine that along with candlestick on how to go about that. We are also be looking at Gann time cycle when we do this, but Gann time cycles, the focus is not going to be much on Gann time cycles. We are going to do Hurst time cycle, which is a very systematic and a scientific way of forecasting the market. So that is how we are going to do it. I'm just going to take a few more questions. Can you show us an example for applying the cycle analysis? You can check my webinar in which I forecasted Sensex last Friday, which I did. So you can clearly check it there, and that's going to give you a lot of understanding on how I applied it on the chart. It can be applied on the commodities as well. Yes, in fact, on crude, you can apply it on 115-day cycle on crude, and it worked so classic. Every single low that crude has formed has been on a 115 days time cycle. हर 115 दिन में crude ने low बनाया. So you can definitely apply it on the crude also. You can apply it on gold. You can apply it on any commodity. In fact, अगर आप intraday trader हो, if you are an intraday trader, you can in fact apply this method across even on very, very clearly. You can apply this very clearly even on a 5-minute chart, and you will be simply amazed to see how it works on a simple 5-minute chart, how clearly you can possibly trade the market. Okay, bank nifty works like magic. Okay, someone is saying your entire analysis on moon cycle worked perfectly well. Yes, I know that it was simply superb. The way we applied it on the cycle and the way it moved was simply amazing, right? We talked about it, and it was such a classic experience for me and for you, because I published a moon cycle just yesterday, and look at how the markets reversed today, because cycle was due and it was reversed. So it reversed exactly the way we expected. तो आपको इसके साथ में candlestick भी combine करना है, and that is what we are going to do on the 9th and 10th of October. And okay, okay, here it is. I'm going to also launch a very quick poll for you. I just want to know already whether you can time the market very well. Okay, how to time the market. So I'm going to take a few more questions. Just a second. Okay. So if you are holding a stock, how do we go about it? When is the next low going to be formed? I'm and okay, I can see Firdaus is also saying the timing of the moon cycle was simply amazing. And what will be the timings? The timings of the session, Amish, is going to be from morning 10 to 4 on 2 days live session that we are going to do. And this is going to be live that I'm talking about. Even after that, you can post your charts, your queries on our traders forum. You can tweet it across to me. So there will be a follow up, which is we are going to do, which is going to ensure I ensure that I don't leave you like that. We keep discussing on the traders forum on the website where you post your chart. I give my inputs and lot of those things we are going to do. So that's going to be there. I'm just launching a very quick poll. Do you want to be a part of Master of Cycles? MOC stands for Master of Cycles on 9th, 10th October. This is the poll in front of you. You just have to answer if you want to be a part of this amazing research study that took me years, and now I'm going to give it to you because I know how classic it is. You are simply thrilled by looking at the moon cycle that I talked about, the lunar cycle I talked about. You will be thrilled when I show you a 15-minute chart. I show you a 5-minute chart, and I will tell you the time, the date when the market should form a low. So that is a very, very important way of knowing how to go about it. And Vijay is saying, I'm been following your forecasting technique. It works like magic. Thank you. If you are a long-term investor, okay, and if you want to buy the market, don't you want to know when is the important month when the markets is going to form a low? If I tell you November 2021 is a very important month, how don't you want to know what will happen in November? Why will it happen in November? Will it fall before 1st of November or not? All of those things I'm going to be simply going to be talking about in the Master of Cycles program. Okay, so you can clearly understand that I'm also going to be explaining you on currency, on commodity, and also on equity markets. You can in fact do stock selection by looking at those aspects of it. Okay, any other questions? I think I've answered most of the question, and it has been brilliant to have each one of you over here. And thank you very much. I'm going to end the poll. So the step that you have to do is, again, I'm repeating, the early bird is ending in 2 days of 3 days of time. Just ensure you block your seat. We went full last time when we conducted this program. We are going to go full even now because I am optimistic. People want to register for this Master of Cycle. The reason being no one does it. And I have done a decade long research, and I'm here in front of you forecasting the market. You can check my tweet. You can know understand what I'm talking about. And this is going to be pleasure and excited that I'm going to be speaking on a subject like this, which is so dear to me, and you are going to be simply loving this thing over there. Okay, thank you very much, guys. I'm just going to end the poll very quickly, and really pleasure to have each one of you here. Going to see you on 9th, 10th of October. The process to register is shared across. The link will be available on YouTube in the comments column. You can simply click there and you can register yourself for this program. By the way, we are going to be also sharing across stock selection by timing the market in that program. So ensure, and koi prior knowledge nahi chahiye. You just have to come with an open mind and we will make it happen together. Thank you very much. This is Ashish Kyal signing off. For any queries, you can reach out to us on 9920422202. Thank you.